Hello, my name is Jamie Burchell, and you are listening to and or watching our podcast called Wormhole Pinball Presents. And today I am very excited to be joined by my co-host, Donovan Wade.
It's me.
Thank you very much. And a very, very special guest, Ian Jacoby of Nudge Magazine.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Wormhole virtually, Ian. I almost said his name wrong. We just did it before, and I had a panic attack right in the when I clicked start.
Amateur.
Yeah, I'm an amateur. You have not been to Houston or the Wormhole or Houston Arcade Expo yet, have you?
No, and I want to go so bad. It's just, it just hasn't lined up with schedule wise. But I know everything I hear is like that would be our scene for sure. Like you guys like to have fun down there for sure.
We like to party.
We like to party.
We like to party. We like to play pinball. And we like to have a lot of fun, but I mean, we have a lot of great players here too, and on the competitive scene. So I think it's a really good balance of competitive pinball and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, nobody takes it too. Lots of people don't take it too seriously.
Some people take it seriously, but it's cool if you take it seriously. It's also cool if you don't take it seriously.
Yeah, totally. So I'm a little off because this is not my normal mic. Right. So bear with me, everyone, today. If I sound a little different, it's because
I think you sound great.
It's not my normal mic, and my whole process gets derailed. But we're gonna get back. All right. So as always, these interviews are very informal, and so with the two of us, we'll just go back and forth. I'll start us off if you're okay. How did Nudge begin?
Nudge was born out of COVID. I was a pinball player I got serious about it when I moved to Minneapolis because I worked as a bouncer for a while. And on my walk home from doing that, there was a spot called Tilt or Lit, is what it's called now, but I would go there and just like blow off steam. And that was when I was like, oh, like pinball, it's the same thing that everyone says, right? Like pinball is more than just kind of like flipping at it. There are things to do in it. And so I got excited about it. And then when COVID hit a couple years later, I couldn't play it all. I had PlayStation pinball, I didn't have one in my house at the time. So I had like PlayStation pinball, and I wanted an outlet for all the pinball stuff that I was still thinking about. And so I was on my way to move to Detroit at the time, with my significant other. And that's just was what I did to fill my free time. I wrote a bunch of like articles that people found a little annoying and sort of funny. And that's kind of how Nudge started.
So what was your like original vision for the magazine? Like some non-negotiables, this magazine has to have this or I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I was talking to myself, so that was a really easy conversation to have.
Sometimes.
So the Nudge aesthetic, the best way for me to put it is I think it's a skateboarding magazine from the 90s, except for it's about pinball, I loved that era. Like I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", 275 right now, and this is the lightest I've been in a while. And so I was never a skateboarder because it was like that was gonna mess me up so bad. But I love skate culture, and like I thought if I could love skate culture and not know shit about it, like someone could do that for pinball. It's like pinball is actually easier to get into than skateboarding because you can see how cool it is. There's like movie themes that are right there that you're already familiar with, and like it just seemed like arcade culture to me in general and skateboarding culture seemed similar. Like they're dirty, but I like that. And it's like full of kids with like nothing good to do, nothing good going on. So like they're getting into trouble and going to the arcades and stuff. And so that was the aesthetic I wanted. Like photography wise, we shoot all film. That's really important to us. It's actually funny. It's become less important to me, but more important to my designer. So I sometimes am like, hey, could we do this digital? He's like, absolutely not. So that was a stupid thing that I said we had to do that we definitely still do. But otherwise you just like see it in the layouts and the humor, and like I don't take stuff too serious like in my own life. So even though I love pinball, I take it really seriously. Like I think I think when people don't understand pinball is when they don't get how important it is in our lives. Cause like, dude, for me, pinball was like my release, like
Oh yeah.
my job sucks or whatever. Like so I would go play pinball as like that was my and I just asked this question for an article that we did recently and like why do you even play pinball? And overwhelmingly the word that came back was escape. Like people are like I escape into pinball and I'm like hell yeah, that's so cool. Like and so like we take it seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously, like that's the vibe.
That's awesome. And you're right, it is an escape. And it's a cult. We call it a cult.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really become a cult. And when we go out to dinner with my wife, we have to limit our pinball talk to like 15 minutes. Or I see it glancing and I'm like, I'm going to lose this girl to pinball. Come on. Are
It
there any other?
happens.
I know, I'm sure it does, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. I'm already doing a podcast and
Yeah,
Twitch.
good for you. Yeah.
So I got to at least pay attention. How about that? And not bombard her with pinball talk.
No, life is about balance too, man.
It is.
So.
It is. It is. And she's been so sweet. God bless you, Janine. Are there any other magazines or publications that kind of you touched on the skater, but any in particular that you could mention that kind of does the layout design, the writing style?
Yeah, I mean, Big Brother for sure. And those are hard to find. Like, good luck finding them. But there's a really great documentary actually about Big Brother magazine. I think it's on Hulu. Uh, but that style of humor. There's some boy, I'm blanking on the name now, but there's a really great super mean music magazine in the 2000s. But they would write like, all these bands suck. And then they would just like break it down. And I always thought that was funny. Like in Nudge One, we have an article that is called Why Your Favorite Music Pin Sucks, And would I write that article now? Like now it would be harder for me to do that, honestly. But when I was starting out, it was like, I don't know. That's kind of funny, I think, to like rip on everyone's like if you can take it and like you'll dish it to everyone, I feel like we're just having a good time then. But yeah, so just that kind of that sneering tone of Big Brother was a huge touchstone for us for sure.
Yeah, those things can be fun. I know. I remember here locally, they used to have a guy that would do, why your football team sucks, and
Right.
So who are some? We know you, but who are other people that are behind the scenes at Nudge? And I know sometimes you reach out, and ask for submissions. Can anyone submit ideas or photography?
Absolutely. Yes. To either one, I'm happy to work with people, even if it's your first time writing something. I think sometimes those are the most unique articles we get because someone feels compelled to write it. So yes, absolutely. But I'm so lucky at this point. It's like we have a network of photographers and artists, like illustrators and comic artists and designers, just like from all over. But I guess Brian Moen, B Moen, is the designer. Like if you've ever held a physical copy of Nudge, yeah, word. That's
We got them.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I know you guys do, but just maybe your listening audience
Why
isn't.
are they? Why
isn't
didn't we
as-
put them right here?
It's
That was
okay.
stupid.
Look, I'm like a
He's got it
shill.
right there.
I
Right
have
there.
mine like here, like right next
That's
to my
piss poor marketing on my behalf. I need a
No,
better
it's-
picture.
What you do? Put
So-
it back in the back.
I was just gonna hold it up like this, like they do it, like Regis and Kelly or whatever. Oh, you
that
mean-
would I do want that photo from you guys for sure. If
Well,
you don't,
I'll do it.
yeah.
But that was just I need like a producer.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy who designs the magazine, I have a lot of input into that, but the guy who I just like trust implicitly is named Brian Moen. We work together. It's funny. We were in bands together. We were in a band for a long time called Larks, which is kind of how we started to know each other. And then after that, he's a great graphic designer and I like to write and take pictures. So natural pairing there. And then
Nice combo.
and then as far as like contributors, Eric Frick, who publishes under the name Rick Brewster. It's funny, like I think it's an open secret, so it doesn't really
Oh, you just
matter.
outed him. So
Yeah, I did. And it's good because he always writes the articles that get us in the most trouble. Like the ones where I always have blowback that I have to respond to are always from him. Because it's always like IFPA stuff or about Whoppers or things that I don't really understand too much. Um, and then Gina Colecchia is like an amazing photographer and writer. She's done a lot of like features for us too, but I just think her photography is amazing. We've had, you guys know, Jean Wong from San Francisco, also a really great photographer. Ida Kreutzer from New York. Like we literally just like, I could go on and on and on. We have so many great people.
oh, that's awesome. And it's good to give them a shout out because they're busting their ass and they're doing good stuff.
Oh, and they're getting paid basically nothing, not quite nothing, but like they're doing it for the love of the game. And like it's so cool how many artistic people are just drawn to pinball. Like we had oh wow, why am I blanking on her name? She's like, here, wait, let me just grab it.
He did this on purpose.
No, I really didn't. I just have stoner memory. Like that's the problem here. Like a real editor would be able to give it to you. Oh yeah, duh. Elizabeth Weinberg, who, dude, so in pinball, she's like a tournament director at Waltz in LA, and in real life, she is one of the most in-demand portrait photographers in the world. Like she shoots for like Vogue and the LA Times, and like. Dude, she did in Nudge 3, the photo shoot in there. That's like the interview between her and Tyler White, another friend of mine who's a tournament director out there. We were just like, wouldn't it be cool if you guys interviewed each other and took each other's pictures? And like, dude, she obviously didn't take her quote to do that photography. She basically did it for us because she likes us. It's like, what zine do you know, like pinball or otherwise, that can get a photographer like that? It's like she did it because of pinball, you know, because she really messes with pinball. So
again, the cult. There you go. We keep going back to the cult of pinball.
Exactly. Yeah.
What article did you get, Ian? Do you feel got like the biggest public reaction or interaction from so far?
Probably the TWIPY controversy, I guess. People like that one. They said it was like actual journalism, which if that's true, it's more of
your TWIPY timeline.
Yeah,
that was good, by the way. That was good.
Yeah, thanks.
It was good.
That if that's the standard for what journalism now, that's more a critique of like the state of journalism than it is.
No, yeah, but it was a hot topic, and I get it. We had Colin on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, I think he did a great job explaining it too. So, I mean,
my thing was just like, dude, these are all people. Like, whether you agree with what they're saying or not, like, just know, like, Colin is a guy that's cool that just does this because he loves pinball. Like,
yeah, he's not getting paid like I'm not getting paid. So
exactly,
yeah, totally.
And also I wanted to recognize like some of the creators that kind of felt slighted because they don't get recognized ever. Like, as you can be like, oh, TWIPYs, it's the TWIPYs, it doesn't matter. It's like, well, it does matter actually to some people. Like, just like we say, like, oh, pinball shouldn't matter that much, or should. It's like, who are you to say? Like, whatever. So, so
I wanted a gosh darn TWIPY. I wanted one. I told Colin offline. God, I really want.
We were never gonna win one. I think I've won all the like stuff we won like the pinball awards whenever that was, and then this is like the degenerate awards. You know, that's the one.
Oh, that's cool though.
That's the one you really care about. Most degenerate
Look at you.
Publications. So.
Look at you. Very nice. We won the Canada's pinball.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Oh man! Well, congratulations. That's
thank you. I don't know what happened there.
Has he sent you a plaque or anything?
We're gonna get no. We got a shout out, and we got a guy who didn't know who the hell we was announcing our name. What was that guy's name?
Well, his name's
whatever. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Well, look at this. Watch this. Hopefully this works. Look at that. It lights up.
Colors?
No colors.
Just poor.
Sorry. Yeah. But that is, I mean, you know,
I'm just kidding.
Shout out Pinball Degenerates on Facebook. Great.
There you go, Pinball Degenerates.
So you'd mentioned in your non-negotiables, the love for photography and all. Where did this passion come from? I mean, is this something that you've always been involved in?
Photography, no, definitely not. It's a more recent, it's not recent, I guess. Well, dude, that short answer is aesthetics. Yes. Like aesthetics are important to me. And so in that way, I knew I had to control my aesthetics. Like I wasn't going to use stock photography. Um, Because, dude, people can tell when you fake it. Like, it sucks. Like, I didn't want to
Yeah.
do something that felt cheesy or like halfway. I want to do it all the way. So, like, even though I'm not the best photographer I know, I taught myself how. And at first, I was just using literally a disposable camera. So it's like you don't even know like what you see in the viewfinder is not what's even on the lens, right? So it's like I was just doing that for a bit, and then my ex's, at the time, my girlfriend's dad was like, "Hey, I got this Canon Rebel Pro. Do you want?" And like a couple lenses, like you should just use this. And I started doing that, and yeah, you learn pretty fast, especially when you have to pay money for film rolls. You're just like, I don't want to waste anything. Um, so
Well,
yeah, that's it. Like, it's not a good like, oh, I was always in love with taking nature photography. It's just like, dude, pinball machines and are so photographable. Like they have their own light sources. Like it looks so dramatic and good. Like you can be a knucklehead, just go out there with a literally go out there with a camera. Doesn't even have to be that good a one, and just like start shooting, and you're gonna like what you come back with for sure.
yeah, that's what I kind of want to ask you next is, why do you think pinball and photography go so well together? I think you
It's
kind of,
beautiful. Yeah, man. And like the art that goes into pinball, I love. Like, so another contributor of ours who I definitely have to shout out, Tanner Petch, who also does homebrew machines. He did Garbage Land or Trash Land. A bit, he's just a big homebrew guy, really inventive, beautiful stuff. Out his Instagram. But like you see how much art is in it from just like actual playfield art to how the lights work to the music that goes into it is like that's what I mean when I say I take it serious. Like I do think a pinball machine is an expression of art just as much as like a book or a movie is. Like it's funny to see how they kind of get translated like movie wise, right? Or whatever the original IP is, like when it gets translated through pinball, like how that story manifests. That just really interests me. So
We need to do a better job photographing our some of the machines that are coming, right? Like coming soon.
Mhm.
What kind of tips should we do? Like Nat does the 3 pictures, or what kind of pictures do you think would be best for us? Like coming soon to the wormhole.
yeah,
Like what are some tips for common mistakes that pinball photographers make?
I love that. I think if there's a really notable mech in it that photographs well, and even if it's funny, I'm thinking right now about, and this just popped into my head, but like the Frankenstein, I took a really great, just direct flash, like picture of. So if there's a mech or something notable, I always look for that. You want to find interesting angles. So like people are so obsessed with just like how do I get the back box and the play field in this? It's like that's never gonna look good. You gotta like make some decisions. So
Oh, okay.
if you come down, I mean, you can do that too. Like that's fine. Like, and I think that should be like if you guys are showing a new game, right? You probably want almost like a stock photography, like 3/4 turned. This is the game. Like this is the cab art. This is whatever the back glass, how it looks. That's cool. But I just mean like the front facing, just like you're showing kind of, it looks like a dumb light box then. Like get in low, like get in low. You guys can take the glass off, but like even if you can't, like get in low to the glass, kind of show that like it's about the ambiance as much as it is about anything else. And I would say just like get specific, like be don't just be bland with it. Like if it's a mech, then that. If it's like one of my favorite things to do is just look at pinball art and like shoot the one little piece of art or whatever it is that I find compelling or funny or interesting. Yeah, sorry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all these are long answers, but
Go
that's
for
what I
it.
like
You're doing
talking about.
good.
Yeah.
That's what I like talking
this-
about, you know?
You're doing good, man.
Well, to kind of riff off that for a second, like what are some machines that you think have exceptional art that you really enjoy, and what are some ones that are kind of like
Oh,
an
you're making
eyesore to you?
You're making him.
Word.
You
No,
can't-
that's fine.
You can't
I
use
don't-
clip art.
Yeah. Well, yeah, barbecue comes to mind as like the easy one to shit on. But there are others for sure. I think in general what I like is diversity in art, not like in a political way, but in a like how shit looks way. Like I don't want and Zombie Yeti would tell you the same thing. I think Zombie Yeti's cool. I don't want every pin to look like Zombie Yeti did it. And that's what's awesome is like I think Stern's going in that direction. I love how John Wick looks. I know that's a polarizing game right now. I think Randy Martinez killed it. I think the color scheme is really interesting to me. That like I love that it's kind of black and purple and like has that neon cityscape in it. Like to me, that is one right away. Like I haven't obviously shot it, any of that stuff, but I actually was kind of drawn to it. In a way.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
first look, but hell, today is Wednesday of Stern launch week, the 8th. So we haven't
Right.
really seen shit yet. So I don't know how anyone can have an opinion until they've seen it and flipped it. But you know, gosh.
Definitely. But like art wise, we can tell, right?
Yeah, we
that
can tell. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it looks dope.
Yeah.
And then like historically wise, I mean, my favorite bottom third of a playfield is the shadow. I think it's so vibey. Like even the inserts for like the modes, like having it be that green, it's like green and like kind of a cream, almost like white look. And there's all that sort of like art deco vibe to that bottom third with that really cool taxi cab between the flippers.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin up top.
I love, dude.
Dude,
I love it.
I mean,
look at that.
Massapequa, Long Island. I'm telling you, I love Massapequa, Long Island. That's my hometown.
Well, then that's
We
your
claim
boy,
the
dog.
Baldwins, but Jiminy Christmas. I mean, I like the alternate translate with the guy with the face. That's a better one.
Yeah, he's got
The Auric translate. I like the original one. I think what we wrote about it was we said Alec Bedroom's bedroom eyes if your bedroom contained a stone cold psychopath.
If you that's funny.
Yeah.
How about an American Psycho pin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, totally. But he has that, I don't know. I dig it. I'm a stand for that game.
If you could do an interview with anyone in pinball, Ian, but dead or alive, who would it be?
Well, dead, it would be Python Angelo. And alive, well, I have an idea and I can like say it here. I don't think I've said it anywhere publicly, but one thing that I really want to do is get the Ritchie brothers together on a gun range and we'll just like have the most swear words in a pinball interview like of all time. That's my dream. So,
You need to make that happen.
I think it would be fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like Mark Ritchie, Steve Ritchie, like those are some salty bastards. Like that would be so fun, I think.
Do you have any pinball hot takes or unpopular opinions that you'd be willing to share?
I love that your
Not get
questions are
shredded.
always just like, how can I get him in trouble?
Here's what he did. I'm going to tell you. Here's what happened, right? We do a script, and
Yeah.
he filled it with tough questions, and
I love it.
going to ask these tough questions. I put him right on him. I
love it.
80% of the script.
Dude,
I gave it to him.
I told you.
The opinions of Jamie Burchell and Donovan Wade do not necessarily reflect those of the Wormhole. So,
Yeah.
all right, go ahead, Ian. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. You're like, go ahead. Just like get yourself in trouble. Let me think. I'm trying to think of like some knee-jerk stuff that a lot of my opinions are pretty, dude, maybe I'm a sheep. I don't know. No, let me think. I mean, as far as games I like, that's never going to be controversial. I'm trying to think about games I like don't like that I really don't like.
I'll give you mine. I'll give
All
you.
right.
Give me.
yours.
I am
starting.
I am American pinball fanboy.
I love that.
He is.
Nice.
I love all their games. Absolutely. I mean,
He loves them.
Yeah, Oktoberfest is my favorite game.
Dude, Joe C from Pinball Degenerates just publicly said that he actually thinks that barbecue is a good game. Barrio's barbecue is he said it was a fun shooter. He said he played it for an hour.
We had people that came back from TPF and they said they liked it.
Yeah.
Some people.
I kind of liked it.
Well, there you dude, this
All
is
right.
the
John,
dirty
Tim
little
liked
secret.
it. Me and Tim both went through and we met David. And anyway,
Okay, here's an opinion that people won't like. I think Metallica is really fucking mid. Like, I don't like it that much.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
It took me
think
a while to like Metallica.
and like I think the artwork is lame looking. It looks I get that it's like their guy and stuff, but
There you go.
I think it kind of looks like it's like 8th grade like notebook drawings.
There you go. Did you get what you wanted?
That-
You got him shitting on Metallica.
I was like, what can I do that'll like give him a good soundbite?
No,
so,
that's fine.
but that is
You
that
know
is
he's gonna he breaks everything up. You know who he breaks all of our little tidbits up, and anything you say gets
what I'm
put
saying.
back out in a reel.
Canon will be used against me.
Will be
Yeah.
used against you on Instagram.
No, I love it. It's cool. Like I stand by that. I don't like to play in Metallica that much. So sorry, Metallica.
There you
fans.
go. How did No Days Off come about?
Nice. I love that. Well, it started actually because I'm a basketball player, and when I would shoot free throws, it was like my annoying thing on Snapchat to like I would just like shoot a free throw, make it, and then say no days off, which comes from famously Bill Belichick during a Super Bowl parade tried to get the crowd to chant no days off and no one wanted to do it. Everyone's like, no, like take the day off. You won the Super Bowl, you psychopath. And so I always thought that was really funny. Like, and so tone deaf, like that Bill Belichick thought like everyone would want to chant no days off. So that's how it started. And then for me, it's like I love pinball so much. It's kind of like tongue in cheek, right? Because it is not a job at all, but you're just like no days off. Like I want to play it every day. Like, no days off.
I love it. You should make a t-shirt.
You know how I got into all this video work?
How?
How?
So when I first started playing pinball, you're not that good. So if you get your name on the board, you can put your name in. I was pretty impressed. So I started taking pictures of them. I'd post them on my stories. And it got to the point where people are just like, oh, geez, another, a picture of a high score or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'll show you guys. So I started making like little videos to go along
Nice.
with them. So
That's cool.
And I found him,
And he
and
found
the
me.
rest is history. I found him. He was this little wet dog.
and chained me to a laptop. Make some videos.
The greatest love story ever told.
So we really, we want to talk about some of the things in the magazine and online. So we really liked the recent shots from MGC. It looked so fun. So how would, none of us have been there before. How would you sell us on attending MGC 2025?
Yeah. It's so fun because it's not just pinball. It's everything. I mean, the pinball component is really strong. They run 2 or 3 really fun tournaments there with good players. Rachel Ristow runs it, who I'm sure y'all are familiar with.
Yeah, we had her on the podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay. Of course. I should know that. But yeah, so there's that going on. But then at the same time, there's like literal wrestling, like professional wrestling happening mixed with like the coolest cosplay you've ever seen, mixed with like literally they have LAN parties going like the whole time with like just like you can play old school LAN like Doom with people and like so it's just this crazy mix of like everything you could ever want and it takes up 3 stories of the convention center in downtown Milwaukee and just like takes over. It's like all nerds in Wisconsin and the surrounding states, like, at this spot. And it's so fun. Yeah. The pictures are always great because there are people dressed up, like playing arcade games. Like I'm just standing alongside sweaty Mega Man while he's like doing his weird little, on tapper or whatever he's playing. But, Yeah, it's a party and it's really fun and it's relatively cheap, like compared to going to kind of other big cities. I would say it's kind of a value play anytime you're hanging out in the Midwest. Uh,
And you can
so
fly into Chicago. It's not that long of a drive.
totally. Look, no,
No,
if you're coming, you're hitting up Chicago as well.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Cal had some pretty good stories. He was telling us about MGC.
Oh, he
Oh
did.
man, and if you guys come and were like a vendor, like if you brought a game or two and just like hung out, like the vendor party on Saturday night is ridiculous. It was so fun. Because basically on Saturday night, because it's a crazy weekend, they had 30,000 people, over 30,000
Oof.
people,
Oh,
I think,
jeez.
over the course of like 4 days. So
Wow.
it's crazy. But so on Saturday night, like after they've had their biggest day, they're still open Sunday, but that's when they're kind of packing stuff up. They have this vendor party and it starts with, boy, I'm gonna forget the man's name, but this guy, I gotta give him his flowers, but whoever started MGC is just like a dude who's my age and a huge nerd, obviously. And he gives a speech and it was like the most weirdly moving. Like it starts and he's just listing off all the things that went wrong and you're like, okay, this kind of sucks. He's just like, we almost didn't do this for this reason, like I haven't wanted to do this thing for 3 years, but then by the end he's like, but we did it, we're gonna make money and we're gonna be back next year, and he's like giving this like Braveheart speech, and then he's just like, and then they turn all the games on and everyone's just like going nuts. So
Did he
it's
ask you to drink some Kool-Aid and put on these shoes?
it felt awesome, and I really actually
Ooh.
I wasn't supposed to be there, but I kind of snuck in with some.
I was kind of scrolling through some of your Instagram stuff the other day, and I know you did a recap on your Hardbodies shoot. Really cool.
Yeah,
What are
thanks.
like shoots that you've done before that really stick out as memorable, and why?
That one for sure.
Oh,
I love the art direction on that. So we just that was a funny mix of a lot of things. My friend had a hard body. Obviously, you've seen the back glass to that. The original back glass is ridiculous. Very evocative though, and like fun to play with, right? And I think it's so funny because I think there's an uncharitable view of that photo shoot where you can be like, oh, these guys are like sexist or it's objectifying or whatever. What's really funny to me is the people who are the most positive about that shoot are like women, like who really dig it. And what I think, and hey, this is probably the thing you pull that'll definitely get me into trouble, but I think maybe what pinball manufacturers don't get about kind of like that stuff is that like women want to have fun and they want to like pinball too. It's like when you call them like fuddy duddies and treat shit like it's 1970, it's like everyone who was at that shoot was like having fun and got to like have their say, and like we were just making fun content, so it was like I just wish that there was a little more like I think if people kind of listened for like input and like internalized it, they'd actually be able to get away with stuff that they couldn't otherwise, right? Because like it is a fun shoot and it's sexy and it's funny and it like references the original, but like it's still punk enough and we're like doing our own thing. So that is definitely one that stuck out as a success to me. I look forward to doing some more of those. I have a Torpedo Alley like sitting right here, and that's obviously ripe. I think the back glass, there's a legend about it that so there's three women and they're all wearing like stretch pants, and then there's a guy who I think originally was also wearing stretch pants, and then it looked a little too, it was, the 1980s wasn't ready for how that looked, and so they airbrushed it into different pants. And so I want to go back and give that guy the like big juicy butt he deserves, to have, and let him wear those stretch pants. So that's one that I'm looking forward to in the future.
In your recent article with Dalton Eli, you mentioned that nearly half of the top 20 players, competitive pinball players in the world, are 25 years old or younger.
Yeah.
What can we attribute to this explosion of pinball to be?
I think specifically with those guys, they had access to pinball. Well, no, I don't know, dude. I don't have a clean answer for this. I'm really interested, actually. I mean, the trite thing to say is that they're rebelling against this like screen culture and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that pinball is a hard game and it takes good reflexes and
Yeah.
it takes young eyes, and these guys have the time to do it. It's like, think about yourself when you were 19 years old. Like, actually pinball would have been one of the more constructive things I could have been doing with my time, in comparison to what I was doing. So I think
Their nerves and their reflexes are kicking our heinies and
yeah.
well, you know.
And like they can pick up rule sets quick, like I think that's like a young, like elastic mind. So in terms of like elite play, I just think it makes sense that a lot of young people are up on top. And in general, I do think that maybe not as young as 25, but I would say people under 40 like are flocking to arcades because it's a place to hang out. Like, we miss those. Like,
Yeah. We're
you
seeing
know,
that at the Wormhole, and we're totally seeing that, you know, demographic, if you will.
Yeah.
Demographic.
I've got my own theory on this. I think,
Go ahead, my friend.
I kind of think, I think back to when I was, teenager or whatnot, and you really obsess over things back then. Like,
word.
it is totally, you mentioned skateboarding. I was totally in skateboarding, and that's all I did, all I thought about. I just read the magazines. I was out on my board whenever I could be. And I think these kids are the same way. They find something, they've got the time, and they can latch onto it, and they just kind of obsess over it. Whereas, we got jobs, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got families and whatnot. But
These kids have nothing. Good for them. Good for them.
for studying.
No, I feel you though. That is something. It's like, dude, you listen to that album over and over and over again. Like, whatever.
That's true. I must have listened to 10, 100,000 times, and it would have been better if I went to the arcade and worked on my pinball skills or something.
So another article that I was reading is the Our Game's Too Easy, and I listened to the Buffalo, talk about that on their podcast.
Sure.
I just want to talk a little bit about that article. I mean, you mentioned how some of these games, these modern games, they're really long. I mean, we saw, at TPF, we did the Wizards and the Classics tournament, and a lot of people from here didn't want playing Wizards because it just takes too long. Like, the games are just they just go on and on and on. I mean, you had mentioned some solutions in the article. Is there any thing that you would suggest for this?
Yeah, well, I mean, right, a lot of people pointed to District 82 and saying how hard they set up their games. I don't think that's necessarily the answer, because then it's just like you're not getting to the stuff that you're supposed to get to in the game. Like, that's its own sort of weird thing. So I think that in general, pinball, we're seeing a diversity of how we build games and how they play. Like, I think you guys know, like, I think Labyrinth plays different than a Stern, like, in a cool way. And that's really good for both companies. And I know, not to be like, oh, insider rumors, but I've talked to some designers at Stern, and I know that that's going to be a style that they explore going forward. That's not something that they're shying away from, is like even early 2000s kind of harder era Sterns. And so maybe that's the way forward, is that there are sort of competition machines that we think about them as like, these are the ones that are usually designated in competitions. They're shorter players, either because they're kind of random, like in Classics, or they're, set up hard with tight shots. And
yeah, I 1,000% agree with you. Maybe Jurassic Park is not a good competitive game.
exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right. And that's nothing wrong with that, because people love putting quarters in Jurassic Park. But maybe Labyrinth, here's a good example. Labyrinth can be a long player. And they made it very, 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 very difficult. And it's upsetting me because it's so difficult now.
Oh.
Because the ball saves, everything is so hard, and they put everything off, and it's now I just put 4 games on it, and I only had one good score.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe you're angry with yourself.
They're ruining this game that I love
but
very much.
The thing, we have trouble with it, but we get somebody like Jack or Wesley and people in here, and they'll play it for 15, 20 minutes. No problem.
Oh yeah.
Well, but that's a very, it's interesting. You're right to think that's a good intellectual exercise, though, is what is the threshold on which a game is like, where's the line? Where's the median line that we want to draw it? Because obviously a competitive pinball player is always going to be like on a different level, you know, they're playing every week, they're playing with good competition, they're kind of just psychopaths in general.
Yeah.
You don't need those people like necessarily driving the bus, but at the same time, dude, that's your core demo. Like the people who are going to be pinball buyers in the future are the 30-year-old competitive players right now, because they're like getting that taste. They don't have the money yet, but they're like getting that taste.
Yeah.
I'm in that group. You know?
I just want to make sure I bust their butt, right? Or butt. I bust them and I go, hey, thanks for the 20 minutes on Labyrinth. I appreciate that. But they know that I'm joking, right? I don't want to do that, make them feel bad.
Well, we got some people that
But some people will make them feel bad, but I don't want to make
no, that whatever. I mean, dude, they're, you know, you hate us.
I'm doing it in jest.
I was gonna say you hate us because you ain't us. You know, like that's the vibe.
I'm 2,500 in the world, man. Rapid fire. This is Donovan's brainchild. Okay, and so bear with us because it's starting to we really like it. So I'm going to let him take the first question. Rapid fire. You've seen how it works. It's not real. Okay.
All right.
And he's going to start off with a doozy right off the bat. So
Question one. Multimorphic, more video game or pinball machine?
My answer changed at MGC. Pinball machine.
Most iconic Minnesota musician, Bob Dylan, Prince, or Husker Du?
I gotta say Prince, but only because I'm afraid of everyone. If I said anything else,
yeah, those Minnesota Prince fans.
Canceled. Better aquatic game, Jaws or Fishtails?
I'm gonna say Jaws. I know that's corny, but dude, Fishtails is always hard for me. That thing is so close to you that if you're not dialed in, you know, I'm not.
You got
I'm not that
good. Most memorable role in Fargo: William H. Macy as Jerry or Steve Buscemi as Carl?
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, I concur.
What theme would you not want Home Pin to get a hold of?
Samurai Champloo. It's an anime I love. That's never going to be made anyway, but
see, that's a cop out.
Okay, I'll give you one. Star Wars. I mean, that would
you
suck.
Don't want to touch on Star Wars.
The Home Pin Star Wars? Yikes. And that could happen. Who knows?
Better mustache, Robert Sharp or Brewers Hall of Fame Raleigh Fingers?
Robin Yount. Terrible wispy mustache. Raleigh Fingers.
Absolutely.
It's more stylized.
Exactly. I mean, the amount of wax that he must have put in that thing to make that curveball spin too.
There's a guy at my gym that has a Salvador Dali curled up.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him, dude.
That's a hell of a look to rock at the gym. That's wild.
I bet he's a badass. Is he a badass?
Not so much.
Yeah.
I think I already know your answer on this one. Dirty Donnie's art on pinball machines, yay or nay?
Nay.
Let's get some confirmation here. Okay.
Oh no! I mean, damn, dude, Dirty Donnie, you seem like a cool dude, and I love you, but no, I don't want your art. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You don't have to apologize. Bubble hockey or foosball?
Foosball. All right, sorry.
Best pool themed game. There's a lot of pool games. Which one do you like?
8-Ball Deluxe.
Who would win a arm wrestling match? This is he wrote this one. Okay, Jersey Jack's Eric Minier or Wormhole's Donovan?
Wormhole's Donovan.
Take that, Eric. He's got that dad strength, though. I don't know.
That dad strength.
Don't back off it now. Like if you're gonna,
yeah, you already said it.
You want? I thought you were alpha when I answered that question. Now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's already putting down in his mind.
Cheese curds. What are they best on?
They're best by themselves.
By themselves?
Oh. Yeah.
Headphones in competition, yes or no?
Oh man, yes. I'm a huge proponent of it.
What are you listening to?
We have nudge mixes, so I'm gonna promote those for sure. They're awesome. They're full of indie rock and punk and
where do you get it? Where can you download those playlists?
If you go to our website, it's like you'll find it right there. Otherwise, search Nudge Magazine on Spotify. Like it'll come up right away. There's like, I think on the first one, which is the one I most promote, there's like, I don't know, 55 people listening to it now. So yeah, go pump those numbers.
That's always so interesting to find what people listen to. You know, Erin, she listens to
Metal.
Norwegian death metal.
Yeah.
Word, yeah.
I never would have gotten that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear somebody who listened to something nice and airy, like a Bell and Sebastian or something.
So I brought my headphones today. I'm going to listen to the Yankee game, but
that's different.
I'm going to try to listen to the Yankee Astros game.
I like it.
Yeah,
Dude, I just think that element of it, for whatever reason, I was new to wearing headphones and it literally felt like putting on training wheels on a bike. I was like, this is so much easier. Like, why can I focus so much better? So I'm always better if I'm talking to people. If something else is kind of going on, it just like helps me focus. I don't know.
yeah,
We got a lot of smack talkers here, so sometimes that helps.
it does help because we got to, especially with me, they like to give me a lot of shit.
I give you, yeah.
And maybe if I put the headphones in, it would be like I would put them in and go, and then I start wearing gloves and a headlamp, and then pin shades, and I think I'll be set, Ian. I think I'll be set.
Fingerless gloves.
I had a league, and Tim was in my group one time, and the whole night he's in my ear.
Oh, I know. You don't want that. All right, that was fun, Ian. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Where can people subscribe, find Nudge Magazine, all that great stuff?
Yeah, if you go to nudgepinball.com or Nudge Magazine on Instagram, those are the best, or Facebook, those are the best places to find us. Yeah, we got a new issue coming out in June. We still have physical copies of issue 3 and I think we have a few of issue 2 left, but you'd have to really hurry on that. Like down to like maybe double digits on that.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
So that's it. Thanks so much. I said, I'm a fan of y'all. I had to strong arm my way on this thing because I was such a fan of how this is going. Like you guys are putting out great interviews and super fun vibes. So yeah,
I appreciate it. We're really having a lot of fun here in Houston.
That's it. Give us our flowers. Here we go.
No, I'm just saying we've got a good thing going in Houston. We're not Seattle or Portland or Phoenix yet. Phoenix is kicking some ass. I'm hearing from our boy Kale and
for
Rachel.
sure.
But we need to have you come here to Houston. That would be really cool. And how you could really start one day is to come to the Houston Arcade Expo. I think that would be a really
next year. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
for sure.
Make it happen. Come to the Houston Arcade Expo in 2025 and come to the Wormhole and let's kick some ass. And just have some fun, man.
I'm gonna take pictures of all of it for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be really, really cool. What a pleasure. Keep up the good work, sir. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you.
Bye, Ian.
Bye.
That was so much fun, and I'm sorry, Big Game was off the whole time. Idiot. I need a producer.
Still looks kind of dim.
Yeah. So, how did you initially get in touch with Ian?
As I said before, the first time I saw Nudge was at Travis and Clint's house. They had it on their coffee table, and I thought it was really cool. Like I said, I love the aesthetic. Started following him on Instagram. We started our Instagram stuff. Love his posts. Love No Days Off. Love all that stuff. So
there's something about holding a magazine, isn't there?
There really is. I think I wanted to get into that. Why is this? I will never be a person who can read a book on a Kindle or something. I gotta have it. Same with the magazine. And all these bookstores are closing, but I go to the one in River Oaks and it's always packed on the weekend. I think there's a lot of people that still really love physical media.
Did you have any magazine subscriptions as a kid?
Thrasher.
Did you?
And Trans World.
You know what I
had? Sports Illustrated for kids. Oh, you probably didn't have that when you were.
No. My dad got me a Mad magazine.
Mad magazine?
When I was a kid.
Okay.
And I had, oh my God. I probably had Mad magazine for 5 to 6 years. I was in college when I finally was like, I gotta stop.
What about Cracked? Did you read Cracked too?
I didn't really read Cracked, but Mad. Oh man, Mad was fun too.
Spy versus Spy.
Oh, I loved Mad magazine. All right, sorry. How many times did you rewatch the episode with Rachel and Kale from Electric Backhouse?
Rewatch? I never watched it. I listened to
Oh,
it.
how many times did you
I
re-listen?
listened to it probably 2 or 3 times.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah. So how we need to do something with them at least once a quarter.
absolutely.
So I don't know how that's going to look.
Yeah, we got to figure something out. Give us some ideas, people. What do you want to hear?
Like a round table or something.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk just like gun or no gun on Wick or crap or any of that. You know, that's just
There's plenty of people who do that. We
there's
need to
other
do
people that
something
do that.
original.
All right, so we'll figure something out. John Wick coming to Eureka Heights.
Ooh,
in a few
really?
weeks. Well, it's there. Do you know what happened to it? The
No.
trough issue. They had a trough issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess it's a well-known issue with CGC. The
No,
trough.
not John Wick. You're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
I was like, wow, that
Okay.
one already?
2 things. There's a Pulp Fiction at Eureka Heights.
Yeah.
The trough did not work.
Oh,
They
I didn't-
resent the trough. It was supposed to be in league tonight. They were doing an unboxing
Oh.
yesterday, but Chicago Gaming quickly sent the trough. So we'll have that up for this Friday's 3X
Ooh.
at Eureka. So there will be. Now, John Wick is coming to Eureka Heights.
Ooh,
Already on order. Should be here in a few weeks.
Wow.
So Eureka Heights is doing some really good things. We got league tonight. Let's give a shout out to the league leaders, if you do not mind. After 3 weeks, Lee Basilick, Miette Dronet, Jack Revenue, Travis Hanna, and Wesley Johnson round out those top 5s.
Great players.
So we did ask Ian who he wanted to interview. My question to you, sir, who's your holy grail?
Oh, geez. You know, I've really been lucky, and I've met a couple of the people that I really enjoy following in pinball. You know, Nick was here a couple of weeks ago, and having.
So who's next? Who's your next fanboy? I
You know what?
thought
We
this
were-
was a layup for you.
We were texting about this last night, and I'm a big fan of Jeff Teolis. I like his podcast. I like.
We
his
already had
opinion.
Teolis on.
I know you did, but you're asking me who I.
So you want to have Teolis on again, and you just do the interview?
No. You just, you asked me who.
Oh no, no worries. I thought you would have said Jack Danger.
Jack Danger. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's who I thought you would have said.
Absolutely.
Okay, mine's Jason Sudeikis
Oh yeah, you mentioned
because he's a pinballer, man, and I got to talk to Jason Sudeikis on Zoom, and then get him to the wormhole. He would do it. Well, listeners, watchers, viewers, email us at wormholepinball@gmail.com.
I think I know someone who knows his sister, so maybe
Such a New York thing.
I think
Such a New York thing. If you don't live up there, you just don't get that.
he's from like Kansas or something.
Yeah,
though,
he
isn't
is. He's
Okay.
Kansas.
Yeah,
Um,
I know someone who knows someone.
Did you happen to read the Texas Monthly article written about Tim and Christine and the Wormhole and Wormhole East Museum?
Absolutely, yeah, great article.
So if you haven't read that, go to texasmonthly.com, and Dwight Silverman, who is a friend of the podcast, if you will, friend of the Wormhole,
friend of pinball,
and loves pinball, did 2 articles, one for Houston Chronicle, more about Space City. That was about 1.5 years ago. And then felt that he wanted to dedicate an entire article to Tim and Christine, and he did so. And it's really, it's a good read, man. I shared it everywhere.
Mhm.
So go check that out.
Texas Monthly is a great magazine.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know it's on there now. When I see it in HEB, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I hope we make the magazine.
are they on the cover?
I don't think so.
Oh wow,
But,
that'd be great.
so I'm more and more excited about the museum every day. Thanks so much, Donovan. Please subscribe, all that crap. Discord. If you do want to be on our Discord, wormholepinball@gmail.com. I am taking a 2-week break. All right. I'm taking a 2-week not pinball break, but a 2-week podcast break.
You want on vacation?
No, I just need a break. I've done a lot of
You
podcasts.
have?
So I think 2 weeks is fine.
What is this? 27?
Yeah.
27. Wow.
So take it easy,
Yeah.
Jamie. All right. And then I've got Jessica DiNardo of Pinball fame coming up in 2 weeks. And then Texas State champion Alice Young. So I'm trying not want to bother Erin Winnick Anthony, but I'm seeing if she can make those 2 podcasts
Yeah.
as well. So those would be great. If anyone wants to recommend someone that we should interview, I've got a couple more lined up in June, but other than that, let me know as well. Calendar, here we go. May 10th, there's a 3X at Eureka Heights Brewery. Go check that place out. They got the pulp, and they're getting that John Wick Pro. Streams coming up May 13th. Tune in to Twitch. We're going to do Ghostbusters.
Finally.
I know, you're excited.
I'm
Huh?
enjoying it now. I'm getting more into it. Now that I can hit that ramp. You got to
I
hit
can
that
hit that
ramp.
ramp, dude. You got to hit that left ramp. If anyone plays Ghostbusters and doesn't hit that left ramp, you're getting 20 million.
I can't hit the one on the right, though.
You don't need it. Just
Sometimes you
left
do.
ramp nuts. Thanks, Colby Lewis, for loaning that to the Wormhole. Once in a while, we get people that want to loan the game to us and let us stream it. And he has a beautiful copy of Ghostbusters. So thanks, Colby. May 20th is our Monday 3X. Then May 27th, Aaron Winnick Anthony is going to be streaming live from the Wormhole, the Bells and Chimes Space Camp Finals.
Yeah. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to that last podcast with Danny, we got a lot of compliments on it. You did a great job. Aaron did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
She was very interesting. She really opened up.
She really did. I think she felt that she was in a safe place, and I hated interrupting her and going to her, hey, but I have that tendency to belittle this hobby, and I got to stop doing it. You know, when I say, hey, this stupid podcast or this or that, we're having fun, dude, and we're doing good stuff over here, and there's more and more coming to here in Houston. So continue to check us out at all the Twitch, YouTube, all that great shit.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much. Donovan, thank you, sir.
No problem.
God bless you.
Good night, guys. Good night.